Welcome to Sound On, Sound Off, where we hear from guests with two different perspectives on the same topic. So this morning, it's a really good question. Who handles finances better, men or women? Oh, that's a good one. So we're joined by two financial experts to help answer that question. We've got investment advisor Charles Luong, founder of Endeavor Advisors, and business advisor Candy Valentino, the CEO of Founders Organization. So good morning to both of you. We don't want to start any big fight or anything, but let's get right to this. It's a really great question. Candy, we'll begin with you. I know your excellent background. Are women excelling better when it comes to finances?
Well, good to see you again, Scott. Here's what we do know. We are about to embark on the greatest transfer of wealth that we've ever seen by gender. It's never happened before where more women are going to control more of the wealth in the economy than any other time in history. So it's super exciting. And I think what women do really well, I mean, obviously I'm the only one here in this room currently, but we tend to ask for directions. If the three of us were in a car and Scott, you were driving, we'd probably get lost.
That is so true.
But women will ask for help. They will seek other people. They will get outside perspectives, and that typically really comes into their advantage, where men sometimes are a little overconfident, which can bring on a little bit of risk, but we'll let you guys talk about that.
I can agree with that. Okay, Charles, what do you think of her answer, and what are men doing well?
Yeah, so I love that answer. So what I think men really do well when it comes to finances is just as Candy said, was kind of, we guys tend to be pretty comfortable taking risks. Sometimes we are a little too comfortable, but usually if they're thinking long term, whether it's investing, starting a business, mapping out retirement at 35 like it's a mission, that big picture thinking really pays off. The key, though, of course, is having a strategy and working to have a plan. Otherwise, it's just vibes and following what you see on TikTok and Robinhood screenshots.
All right, so maybe we need to be a little more careful. All right, now to the opposite side of things. How could each gender improve the way they handle finances? So, Charles, let's begin with you this time.
Yeah, so this one hits a little close to home because I've been there. I think that in my experience, a lot of men grow up thinking they need to have all of the answers all figured out. I mean, you can stare at a spreadsheet and the answers will just magically appear. In finances, especially, so I've been married for over 5 years. It's not a solo sport. A lot of us, the strongest couples that I've worked with, treat money like a team project. They plan, they talk, they hold each other accountable, and plans usually work better when, both two voices are in it. So I think that men could improve really by getting direction, whether it's from their spouse or a planner.
I agree with that. It is a team deal all the way for sure. So, all right, Candy, what about women?
Oh, I love this question. All right, ladies, if you're listening, here's 3 things I want to tell you. Number 1, develop your belief in your own ability. So often women do not think that they can understand money, so they allow their husband or somebody else to just handle it and thinking that ignorance is bliss. But I think that really is important, to believe that you can do it. At some point, most women were handed a baby and had to figure out what to do with it. So I think you can handle your finances. And that brings us to number 2, get involved. Just like Charles was saying, do it with your husband, with your significant other, your spouse. Make sure that you understand it so that you're not ever caught off guard. And number 3 is it's just like a language. So you have to start looking at it. You can't ignore it. But I promise you one thing. At one point, I didn't have a clue. And just by doing, I was able to understand it better. So believe in your ability, get involved, and then just start understanding the language.
Plus, if you have a conversation and something goes wrong, then you could go, well, hey, we were both in on this one, right? All right. It is a really interesting conversation so far. So thanks to both of you. Still ahead in part 2 of our Sound On, Sound Off, what outside factors can impact the way men and women spend and save money. We'll do that and much more at 9:15. Welcome back to Sound On, Sound Off, where we hear from guests with two different perspectives on the same topic. And today we're asking the question, who handles finances better, men or women? It's a great question. So we've got financial experts Charles Luong and Candy Valentino helping us answer that very question. So as we learned in part 1 of this conversation, we see some big differences in the way men and women handle finances, and each gender excels in different ways, of course. So what outside factors can contribute to the way each gender saves and spends money? So Candy, let's begin with you.
This is a great one, too. Thanks for asking. I mean, here's the thing with women. We have a lot of societal norms that are still around. I mean, if you think about it, it wasn't until the 1990s that women could even get a business loan without a man's signature. So we've been kind of conditioned generationally that we can't make sound financial decisions, which is why we still don't see a lot of women going into finance. We don't see a lot of women in high executive positions in finance. Currently at 2024, only 19% of high executive financial positions were held by women. So we still have a ways to go. So I do believe it's all about developing your belief, getting involved, and understanding that the financial conversation is here for all of us because you can bring so much value to the conversation. Women have a great instinct that sometimes tends to balance that risk factor that you guys have. So together we can make really great financial decisions.
Yeah, I agree. That number needs to be so much higher. All right, Charles, what about for men?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of pressure on guys to be a provider, which can be interpreted in some pretty wild ways. Like instead of saving for a rainy day or planning, we might buy a truck to maybe tow something someday. We might spend big to feel successful. And let's be real, most guys, we're just not talking about money with our friends unless it's crypto or fantasy football buy-in. And that lack of honest conversation can lead to some very expensive lessons. But I do find that if you're with a partner, you're in a position that you need to be providing for like either your children or your family, that can lead to some, great conversations of, hey, we need our money to perform and do more than just how I feel today.
All right, that's excellent. Question number 2, how can men and women work together to create a healthy financial situation in their household? So, Charles, let's get your thoughts first. I know if I were married, my wife would hate how much I spend on golf.
Well, I think you got to have your hobbies. You got to have things that you're absolutely passionate about. I think that couples that win with money are not the ones that agree on every little detail, but they're the ones who show up. They stay consistent. It's not about who's better at Excel. It's about setting goals together, checking in with each other, and just be willing to adjust when life happens. I know in my own personal life, specifically, my wife married me when we were not doing well financially, and she still believed in me. And I think money is emotional. It's tied to how we're raised, how we're valued, what scares us. And when you trust the person that you're with, you can really just get to the heart of what you actually want out of life. And it brings a whole level of trust in a relationship. And, budgeting is just, what's more romantic than arguing over Amazon charts?
So true. All right, Candy, what do you think about that?
Oh, this is one of my favorite questions ever. All right. Just like those people who read the 5 love languages, there are 5 financial love languages. And every single person, if you're in a relationship with one, they have most likely a different financial language than you. The best way that you can actually get on the same page financially is to set a money date. Literally, so many people will spend hours and hours on Netflix. Take out your phone right now and connect with your partner and set up a money date. Go to your favorite coffee shop, restaurant, whatever it is for you, grab a glass of wine, make it fun, and talk about your goals, your saving, your investing, what kind of life you want to create. Because unfortunately, if we do not design the life that we want, one day we're going to wake up with a life that we didn't want. So take the time to be intentional now.
That's a great point. Sounds like it all begins with communication, right?
100%.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. Charles and Candy, you guys are both excellent. Thank you so much for a really fun discussion. So that's this edition of Sound On, Sound Off.